Hello everyone, thank you for joining me again. This flow is the Bendy body flow, so we'll be focusing on warming ourselves up, feeling really good, really working into our hamstrings and our hips. So I hope you guys enjoy, always modifying to suit your own body's needs and what you need in your practice today. So let's go ahead and begin. Finding an easy forward fold, big bend in the knees, and rocking out side to side, hands come to opposite elbows. Taking time here at the beginning of our practice to really tune into our body and our breath. Noticing what areas feel tight and need some more work, and pouring our breath into those areas in this practice. Gently slow down the swinging motion and find yourself at neutral. Go ahead and let all that air go, and we'll begin to bend and straighten through our legs. So don't worry about having your knees become completely straight. Keeping a slight micro bend through the knees through the motion is very important. Just bending and straightening, warming up through your hamstrings, just finding what your range of motion is today. Gently finding your way back to a neutral hold in your forward fold, and find some easy rocks left to right. It's very small, placing weight into your left leg and your right, moving at a pace that feels good to you. Finding center and finding stillness here. Toe heeling the feet out wide, just to the edges of your mat. And go ahead and grab opposite elbows again, allowing a release through the head, the neck, the shoulders, all the way down through your spine. Keeping that slight bend in the knees if that's comfortable. There's an option here to take hands at opposite elbows behind the back for a bit of a shoulder release. Also an option to clasp the hands and allow the weight of the hands to pull you a little bit closer towards the ground, taking a shoulder rinse. If you are taking the shoulder rinse, pressing the hands slightly to the right, taking a little twist. And to the left. One more to each side. Switching. Returning to center and gently releasing your hands right back down towards the floor, taking a deep bend in your knees, as your toes point out more so towards each side. So bending and straightening once again. Coming a little bit deeper now that your feet are wider and your knees are coming out wider to either side, you should be able to find more range of motion here. Go ahead and hold at neutral, take some easy rocks side to side, beginning to walk your hands out under your shoulders and continue that rocking side to side motion, warming up a little more into our spine now, engaging our whole body. So as you're rocking side to side, bending a little more into your knees now, building the movement bigger and bigger, building our flow, Walking the hands a little further, bringing more weight into the hands and into the shoulders, keeping that upper body strong as you walk out. Continue flowing side to side. And feel free to really move and express yourself here. This is your practice, so do what feels good to you. Taking some cat-cows on our hands and feet now, so rounding through the back, pressing all that air out. As you inhale, dropping your belly, arching your back as much as you can, bending through the knees to allow that to happen. So rounding and arching, or a bit more of a round and a squat. Feel free to watch how my body moves in this video and then try for yourself. Always feel free to pause the video at any point and to work on anything. Walking your hands back towards your hips. And taking some bends in the knees, some shoulder rolls. Finding your way back to a forward fold. And go ahead and toe heel your feet out a little bit wider than your mat, coming into a wide-legged forward fold now. Taking a deep bend into the knees, arching through your back as much as you can, finding length through the spine, and allowing a forward fold, using your hands against the mat now to really press you deeper. Also an option to take the hands around the backs of your legs. Pressing the hands into the mat and simultaneously dropping the hips down towards the ground. So here we go, as we lift up, dropping the hips, the toes spiral out, the knees spiral out, the hips open, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale and open the chest up, sit low, almost finding a malasana, yogi squat there. So continue this motion of dropping the hips down, lifting the chest. And if it's available, maybe you lift your hands at the bottom of the motion, bring your hands to heart center, find a balance, build a little bit of heat in your body. I'm showing some different options here, but feel free to take what feels good to you. I'm bringing hands to heart center, and then as I extend into the wide-legged, reaching my hands out in front of me. Taking a couple more of these. And eventually landing ourselves in that wide-legged forward fold. Bringing hands right under the shoulders, taking a big stretch, and beginning to bend into one knee and then the other. Taking this at your own pace, really do what feels good to you. Maybe you spend a little more time on one side and then pausing at the other. If you'd like to make it a little dancey, a little flowier, bringing more movement into your spine, that's also an option. That's what I'm showing here. It's finding fluidity in your movement in this practice. Have some fun with it. Don't be afraid to feel a little silly. It's all movement. It's all in good fun. Walking your hands out a little further. And as you walk them out further, finding some stillness here as you begin to drop your chest down towards the mat or towards your thighs, whatever you want to aim for. Taking a bit of a child's pose, but in the wide-legged. So a big chest opener, a big shoulder opener here. Gently releasing shoulders, come right back over the wrists and walking your hands directly below your shoulders, your heels right below your hips. reaching one arm up and taking some circles and folding. So we reach, circle, and fold. Switching sides, reach, circle, and fold. Go ahead and continue this, switching sides every time. And next time you reach up, go ahead and hold there. Taking that hand to the small of your back to initiate a deeper twist, pressing the hips on over to the left and on over to the right. So pressing side to side, see how you feel the difference of the stretch along the hips and the hamstrings. Pressing side to side a few more times, and eventually finding yourself right at center, finding where that back is nice and flat, hips square to the ground, releasing that hand right back down to the mat, and take the same deal on the other side. Hand comes to the small of the back, initiating a deeper twist and pressing the hips left to right. And go ahead and find center, holding there, eventually releasing that hand all the way back down towards the ground, toe heeling your feet back in right next to each other. Take a deep breath in, and on that exhale, press up onto your toes and dropping the heels. Pressing up onto the toes, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. One more time, lifting up on the toes, holding, and releasing hips down towards the heels, rounding through the back, seeing if you can drop your heels down towards the mat and maintain your balance. Maybe you even release your hands if that feels all right. Again, feel free to pause the video, practice a little bit, and come back to it. No worries if you're rolling all over the place. We'll take those forward folds on the toes once again. So finding your way back to a forward fold. Bringing hands right under the shoulders and lifting up high on the toes. Releasing heels down. Lifting. And releasing one more time, lifting up and hold. And as we exhale, drawing our hips all the way back down towards our heels. Seeing if you can find balance while dropping the heels down, big stretch to the calves. Sitting up tall if it feels good, giving yourself a hug around your knees. Eventually dropping your seat back down towards the mat, extending your legs in front of you, and leaning back in recline position here. Go ahead and shake out your legs, keeping your heels down on the mat, pressing your chest up and rounding. Pressing your chest open and rounding back. Continue here as you continue with those little shakes in your legs, wiggling out. And holding at the top here, pressing the chest forward and slightly over to the left and the right. Go ahead and take a little wiggle out side to side, or make any movements that make you feel good here. Go ahead and bring your feet wide to the edges of your mat. Take a couple circles with the ankles, loosening that out. Go ahead and bring your hands to the tops of your knees, inhaling, opening the chest forward, and exhaling, rounding back. Holding here. Inhaling forward and rounding back. Pressing on to the right, to center, to the left, and back. So we're taking a bit of a shoulder circle, chest circle here, pressing on over to one side through center and through the back. Making these fit your own body and your own practice. We're just finding movement through our spine. Go ahead and pause at the back of the motion and reverse on over to the left, to the front, to the right, and to the back, taking some rotations on this side, smoothing out the motion. And eventually holding at the back of the motion, big release through the upper back, and inhale, open the chest forward as you pick the heels up off the mat. Engaging your core, pulling your shoulders down and back along your spine, taking some ankle rolls if that feels all right. And crossing at the ankles, go ahead and take a couple rock and rolls on your mat, seeing how round you can make your body here. Each time you come up, see if you can hold a little more. Taking a few more of these, and then we'll begin to build a little bit of a rolling flow. This is a fun one of my favorite flows to do, just to get me energized, woken up. So holding here, I'll walk you through it one time. Feel free to watch first and then continue with me. Lifting up, finding a bit of a shoulder stand. The hands come to the lower back and lifting one leg up toward the ceiling, the sky, whatever you're working with, and coming back to center. As we come back the next time, go ahead and lift the opposite leg. Again, feel free to modify to suit your practice. Don't feel like you have to do this just because I'm doing it in the video. So go ahead and follow along with me. We'll roll back, lifting left and forward, and lifting right and forward, and left and forward. Go ahead and continue these, switching each time. See how slowly you can take this motion, really be engaged through your core. Your whole body's working here, pressing out through your toes. And go ahead and find yourself right at the top of the motion, grabbing around your toes. Your knees will come out a little bit wider, finding balance here, and see if you can extend one leg or the other. Or both. So option 2, hold around the toes and the insides of the feet. Even the ankles work. So seeing how much balance we can find here. If you feel right in this balance, see if you can roll your head on over to the left, getting a bit of a neck stretch. And over to the right. Finding yourself back at center, and go ahead and take a little bit of a forward fold, soles of the feet together, making some little wiggles if that feels good. And we'll extend our legs out wide in a wide-legged straddle, pressing your chest up forward, lifting your legs, engaging those hip flexors, and dropping your heels right back down towards the mat. Inhale, lifting, and pressing out, lifting, and releasing. Finding a little bit of heat here, warming up the hip flexors and releasing, lifting and releasing, lift and down. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Holding there and releasing. Go ahead and clarify your position here and take your forward fold Exhaling, coming a little more forward. Finding your own edge here. Really bringing your attention back to your breath here as you allow your body to sink down deeper towards the floor, towards your mat. Allowing your right ear to come down towards the floor if you are close enough to do so. And switch to the other side. Finding your way to center, beginning to press through your hands, lifting your chest up, moving slowly here, never rush out of a deep stretch. Lifting slowly until you're seated up nice and tall and pulling your legs in towards one another. Finding a roundness through your spine, thanking yourself for this beautiful practice. And I thank you all for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed. Namaste.